God of Depravity and Perversion, Yagalanak explored. Introduction. Yagalanak is another one of those Cthulhu Mythos monsters that you may not recognize right away, but you will not forget him in a hurry. Yagalanak is a late invention in the Lovecraftian realm, keeping up with the raw, intense horror of H.P. Lovecraft's early stories of cosmic terror. Y'Golonac first appeared in Ramsey Campbell's cold print in 1969. The fat, headless, and neckless human figure with a human mouth. He has been frequently represented in games and fan art. Yagalanak is mentioned in the Revelations of Gla'aki, according to Lovecraftian mythology. This figure is imprisoned behind a brick wall, yet it may be summoned by just reading the word Yagalanak in the Revelations. When the conjurer is called, he will ask the one who calls him to become his priest. If the human refuses this opportunity, the beast will consume him. He comes forth to be worshipped, or to feed and take on the shape and soul of those he feeds upon. Y'Golonac the Defiler, God of Perversion and Depravity.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Yagalanak represents any kind of depravity that any sentient creature may fathom. Yagalanak is unlike most of Lovecraft's gods and monsters. He comprehends human emotions and intentions. Yagalanak has enough understanding to converse with possible infected humans or servants. When Yagalanak's name is spoken, he understands enough to respond. In addition, Yagalanak has demonic characteristics, since he is considered a figure of perversion and wickedness. The creature's level of evil intent, on the other hand, is more cosmic than any ordinary demon dealing with humans. Yagalanak is deserving of the title of the Great Old One, given his cosmic degree of abstraction. The great British horror writer Ramsey Campbell initially brought Y'Golonac and the murky mist of wonder and destruction of the Cthulhu Mythos to the public eye. Nyarlathotep can express many things in the mythology regarding perversion and atrocity. His mocking machinations may come to mind first, but acolytes of Lloygr inflict disturbing injuries on victims for a reason, and typically suffer from great personal mutilation for failing to achieve that goal. And as for Nyarlathotep, there is a frequent gleam of hope inside the horrors he unwinds like a silk noose all around the neck and legs of the unsuspecting, only to evaporate when the ultimate trap snaps into a lethal climax. Y'Galonac's actions are motivated by the most primitive kind of ancient evil, with a capital E. The creature seeks to indulge in an orgy of excessive sensory input, such as terrible violence performed out for its sheer joy. Similar to demonic possession, torture is used to inflict misery, agony, enslavement, and complete dominance for no other reason than to feed off the energy emitted by nerve endings and throbbing emotions. Exploring perversion leads to bestial deeds. Yagalanak, on the other hand, takes things to another level. Game masters and storytellers should also consider the nature and usage of Y'Galonac's sexual organs. Suppose you do have evil in your heart and read the term Yagalanak in the correct scriptures. In that case, a conduit is immediately opened in the area where Yagalanak is imprisoned, waiting with patient anger for moments like this to stroll out and do devastation. For humans, its entrance is ethereal, a spirit, a voice, until the crazy who summoned it is killed or taken possession of. Possession causes a hideous transformation. As the body expands, the skull caves in and fades away, and a savagely fanged mouth springs out in the palm of each hand. Red alert here. It is said that anyone bitten by such a hand mouth suffers from severe nightmares and anxiety attacks for the rest of their lives. There is no bargaining with Yagalanak, no appealing to a threat of human vanity, and no mercy in its purest form. Yagalanak is not afraid to think or contemplate something. It is quick, violent, and unyielding. That's not to suggest that Yagalanak isn't a cosmic nightmare. Strut, the protagonist of Cold Feet, meets his end in the same way, as most humans who come into contact with Cthulhu Mythos abominations often do. Strut's face is the first to be consumed. Before he could shout, his breath was taken away, as the hands fell on his head and the moist crimson lips in their palms opened. Y'Galonac's cult. Y'Golonac has a modest cult, and it is regarded as a minor deity in the larger scheme of things. Unlike certain old ones, he aspires to form a cult and responds whenever someone says his name in the Severn Valley when darkness is prevalent, at least if they're near Brichester. He is on the lookout for devotees who are both nasty and cunning. If Yagalanak comes across such a person, he can take them and assume their shape. Yagalanak also appears to be able to take the appearance of a bloated, neurotic humanoid being, according to some stories. Yagalanak summoned by reading his name in the Revelations of Gla'aki. In the mysterious ruins, Yagalanak is trapped behind a brick wall. His natural form is unknown, but when he takes on a human host, he manifests as a hideously obese man with no head or neck and a mouth in each hand's palm. Unlike other gods, Yagalanak can comprehend humanity to the point that he can discuss in English with his human host. Yagalanak seeks humans who study wicked and forbidden literature to become his minions. When called, Yagalanak offers the summoner the honor and privilege to become his priest, or murders him for nourishment. Between 1800 and 1865, cult members of Gla'aki on Mercy Hill wrote a 12-volume book in English. The book is in pieces, with one cult member trying to pick up where another one left off, and it covers Gla'aki, Y'Golonac, Deoloth, and the Great Old One's adoration, powers, and techniques. What makes Yagalanak pure evil? Yagalanak is a being from the Cthulhu Mythos, also called the Defiler, or the god of depravity and perversion. Ramsey Campbell invented him, and he originally appeared in the short story Cold Print. One of the Great Old Ones is the source of this horrible living presence. He deceived many people, and developed a cult enrolling individuals who read illegal books to break the stone wall in his region and release him from his captivity, and assault and kill everything in his way. Yagalanak then tricks his victim into reading a passage of the Revelation of Gla'aki that contains his name, Yagalanak. After being summoned, he would ask them to be his priest, and then eat them. Yagalanak has done this so many times that he enjoys the victims who have surrendered to his hunger. Sometimes they are youngsters, or even children. Yagalanak took over a bookshop after gruesomely murdering the proprietor and stealing his skin in the short tale Cold Print. When Yagalanak meets Mr. Strut, he tries to persuade the short story's narrator to become his priest. Mr. Strut was understandably terrified by the idea. He refuses and becomes one of Yagalanak's many victims.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.